Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. We have a lot to talk about again today. Dominario Remastered is officially out, and we're not going to talk about cards from that set in this video today because they don't have a baseline yet for pricing. The cards we're looking at today, though, are all moving up in value, and we do have a $2 threshold. We're not going to talk about any card unless it's moving up at least $2. Couple quick things before we get started. I do want to say thank you to one of the viewers, Whip. Whip does give super thanks tips very consistently, and again, Whip did give us another one for last weekend's video. I do want to say thank you again to Whip. Thank you to all the viewers out there, though. Just watching the videos, leaving a like, subscribing, a comment, all that helps us. And secondly, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. Currently, you can pick up Dominario Remastered products there. Also, you can pre-order Phyrexia All Will Be One products on the site, too. Remember, for orders over $100 or consist only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. Also, whenever you use the Heroes promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated, so thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the Standard Legal Spotlight. This is where we look at the Standard Legal cards moving the most this week. We only have one to talk about. It is Cityscape Leveler. This is up 562 this week to 1341. So this newer card has broken into a number of formats. Standard, you see this in Izzet Control and more. Pioneer, it's typically found as a one-of in the sideboard of the popular Nykthos ramp decks. Modern, it's in Mono Green Tron. In fact, one of those builds running 2 copies of Cityscape Leveler came in 6th place this week in an MTGO Modern Showcase Challenge. Plus, this has found its way into several commander decks, old and new, like Mishra Tamer of Makvawa, for example. That quickly takes us to the Pioneer Legal Spotlight. 2 cards to discuss. The first is Resplendent Angel. This goes up 202 this week to 36.99. And you will find this in Pioneer Selesnya Angel builds, and those have been popular, performing well on MTGO. It is also seeing more commander play now and builds around a card from Jumpstart 2022, Rodolph Duskbringer. And the last card in this section is Darksteel Forge from Darksteel. This card was moving down last week. It does rebound this week, though. You can see it goes up 634 to 39.98. Obviously, this took off in Commander with the release of the Brothers' War. For example, you see this used as an upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance and in fresh builds around Urza Chief Artificer from there, but it's in other new builds too. Additionally, last week there was a massive Phyrexia All Will Be One leak, and we learned that there will still be some artifact support in this new set as well. Welcome to the Modern Legal Spotlight. A number of different cards moving up. Let's take a look. First, we have Blood Moon from the Dark, up $2 to 89.65. This original copy rebounds a little after some recent losses. You do see this in a lot of modern decks, including Murktide Regent. In Legacy, this is a Mono Red Prison and Goblins. It's also seeing some more commander play around one of the Transformers cards that's been gaining popularity in the format, Slicer Hired Muscle. Crater Hoof Behemoth. Last week we saw the Jumpstart copy moving. This time it is the Modern Masters 2017 copy. This is up 206 to 36.18. This is in Legacy Elves, but it is another popular card too in Commander. Seeing more play now in some Titania Voice of Gaia builds there. Also, if you saw the Phyrexia All Will Be One leaks, you know that this card might get better in the future. I'm not going to go into really heavy details about the leaks, but I do want to go into a little bit of detail, so if you want to skip to the next card, you can do so now. One thing that we learned from the leaks is that there appears to be a go-wide strategy with small creatures or tokens that can give poison counters. If there's enough power behind that, a card like this could work out as a win condition. In fact, there is a mechanic called Toxic that says if the creature does combat damage to a player, that player also gets a poison counter. Additionally, we saw from the leaks that the Battlecry mechanic is back, and that could also work well with Crater Hoof. And on top of all that, this was mentioned on an episode of the Command Zone podcast this week, which might have brought some more attention to it too. Blast Furnace Hellkite. This is from the Mishra's Burnished Banner commander deck. It goes up $237 this week to $4.10. This is a pretty new card, but it is showing up in a good amount of commander decks, both old and new. It is quickly becoming a popular addition to Commander Dragon tribal decks. Grinding Station goes up $2.37 this week to $29.70. This, of course, is in the Grinding Station modern builds. It also gets some commander play in a number of builds, including Mariah, Scholar of Antiquity. Mycosynth Golem from Fifth Dawn goes up $2.40 this week to $42.81, and this is another card that got hot in Commander with the release of the Brothers' War. For example, it's another good upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance, and it's good in fresh builds around Urza Chief Artificer. And like I said a moment ago, this card also might benefit from some of the cards coming out in Phyrexia All Will Be One. Elish Norn Grand Cenobite. Last week we saw the new Phyrexia copy going up. This week the Modern Masters 2015 copy is up $287 to $28.49. So if you did look at the cards in the big league, there are some cards that could play well with this, but also too there is a new Elish Norn in the set that has been officially revealed. It's called Elish Norn Mother of Machines, and that alone could be bringing some attention to the card. But there was also a smaller leak last week where we saw the front-facing commanders for the Phyrexia All Will Be One commander decks, and it appears that this might be a good upgrade to Rebellion Rising. Overall, this has already been a big commander card, and it is even seeing more play of recent in Myral Shield of Argiv builds. Earthquake, the copy from Portal Second Age, is back again. This goes up $3.79 this week to $12.50. This copy does have unique art, and it is hard to find in high grade online. When it comes to gameplay, it's in a number of commander builds, and it's in new builds around a Jumpstart 2022 card there too, Anti-Blight's Bad Influence. Counterbalance from Cold Snap goes up $4.75 this week to $34. So this was reprinted as an Amonkhet Invocation, but that's it. There's no other copies of this card out there. Typically you do see 2 of these in Legacy Isildelver sideboards, and those decks have been popular recently. It also gets a little commander play in various decks. 1000 Year Elixir. Now this Commander 2013 copy did dry up online this week and it jumped past the others. It goes up $5.30 to $14.88. We'll have to see if this normalizes back down or if some of the others start to move up to meet it. Sometimes a harder to find copy of a card moving up is an indicator of things to come. Sometimes it's not. When it comes to gameplay, it is seeing more commander play now and builds around a card from Jumpstart 2022, Kibo Uktabi Prince. Urza's Saga. The Modern Horizons 2 copy is up $2.05 to $38.94. The copy from the list goes up $5.72 this week to $42.24. Now that Modern Horizons 2 copy did lose some value when this hit the list, but now we're seeing both copies moving up. It is a highly played card in multiple formats. This is all over Modern, it's in Hammer Time and much more there. In Legacy it's in Painter and more decks in that format. It even gets a lot of vintage play in Paradoxical Outcome and other builds. And of course, when it comes to Commander, it is another card that got even more popular there when the Brothers War came out. Like so many other cards that are moving up right now, it is a good upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance and in fresh builds around Urza Chief Artificer, plus it's in a number of other new decks in the format. And the last card in this section is Mindbreak Trap. It goes up $12.77 this week to $55.49, quite a jump. Storm strategies remain popular in Legacy and Vintage, and because of that, this card continues to see a lot of play out of sideboards in those formats. Also, this is the only printing of the card. Only place you can get it is Zendikar. This also gets a little commander play, but really the need for the card in Legacy and Vintage right now is what's pushing the price, along with perhaps some speculation that this card is going to keep moving up. It is time for our weekly salute to all Eternal formats, but mostly Commander. Of course, do note that not all cards in this section are legal in all Eternal formats. Let's start off with Leeches. It's up $2.02 to $11.99. This reserve list Homelands card has been hot ever since we started learning about Phyrexia All Will Be One and what's in the set. We knew that poison counters were making a comeback, but last week when that massive leak hit, it just reaffirmed how much of a role poison counters will play in the new set. We also know from a smaller leak that the Corrupting Influence commander deck will most likely be focused on poison counters. Currently this does not seem much play to speak of, but it is a card that many are specking on as Phyrexia All Will Be One draws closer. Kindred Dominance. This is up $2.32 this week to $29.72. This has always been a solid commander card for tribal builds running black, but recently it started seeing more commander play around a legendary creature from Jumpstart 2022, Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm. Also, there was a leaked card from Phyrexia All Will Be One that could be pushing this too. It is a leak, so I won't spoil the details here, but if you're interested in checking it out, it is called Karumonix, the Rat King. Tower of the Magistrate, an older card yet to be reprinted. It was dipping last week, rebounding this week. It's up $2.47 to $23.17. Usually you do see one of these in Legacy Naya Depths sideboards. It's also found in some commander decks. Duretti Ingenious Iconoclast from Conspiracy Take the Crown. This is up $2.68 this week to $24.99, and it is another card seeing more commander play since the Brothers War came out. You do see this in new builds like Mishra claimed by Gix, for example. And again, remember, we do know that there will be at least some artifact synergy in Phyrexia All Will Be One as well. Mana Crypt, this is the one from Mystery Booster, up $2.79 to $192.43. This is in lots of vintage builds, including Mono White Initiative. That one's popular now. It's also found in a wide variety of commander decks, and it's a good upgrade to the Heads I Win Tells You Lose Secret Lair commander deck, which finally got into people's hands not too long ago. Gaia's Cradle from Urza Saga. This is up $305 to $900. This continues to rebound after some losses in 2022. You do see this in Legacy Elves, Vintage Hogak Vine, and it's in a variety of commander decks too. Branching Evolution goes up $307 to $2124. This original Jumpstart card is yet to be reprinted, and it is found in several different commander decks, including at times in the new Kibo Uktabi Prince builds. It was also discussed in an article recently by MTG Stocks, and that could have brought some more attention to it as well. Archfiend of Despair. This goes up $308 this week to $57.59. Currently, there's only one printing of this one. It is a solid commander card and combo enabler in a variety of decks. Hidden Gibbons. Here's an older card yet to be reprinted, up $318 this week to $449, and this one is seeing more commander play now. It is in many Kibo Uktabi Prince builds. Additionally, this gets some play in the pre-modern format, and that format has been impacting card prices more recently. Necropotence. This is the one from Deckmasters Garfield vs. Finkel. This copy only comes in foil. It goes up $373 this week to $97.24. Now, Necropotence was recently reprinted in the Secret Lair 30th Anniversary Countdown Kit, but this copy is rebounding after some recent losses. In Vintage, you see this in Doomsday, plus it's getting some additional commander play in Gix Yawgmoth Praetor builds. Bruvek the Grandiloquent from Jumpstart goes up $393 this week to $35.83. Fairly popular commander, and it's in the 99 of a number of builds there too. Krark Clan Ironworks is up $506 to $39.64. Another card that has been seeing more commander play is an upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance and in fresh builds around Urza Chief Artificer, plus it's in other builds around newer cards in commander as well. Much like so many of the cards we've been talking about today, the Brothers War really was the catalyst for this starting to move. And again, don't forget, Phyrexia All Be One is bringing some more support for artifacts as well. Wheel of Fortune from Revised is back again. It goes up $705 this week to $315. Solid commander card in a variety of builds. Ancient Tomb. We saw the one from Ultimate Masters moving last week. This week, the one from the list is up $235 to $73.92. And the Tempest copy is up $783 to $84.60. This is a big mana-based card in Legacy and Vintage. You do see this in the popular mono-white initiative builds in both of those formats. It's in a lot of commander decks, of course, including one of the newer ones we mentioned earlier, Slicer Hired Muscle. Goblin Welder, the Urza's Legacy copy, the original. It goes up $13.76 this week to $38. It is found in the Legacy Painter decks, but it is another card that was pushed in Commander by the Brothers War. It's found in a number of new builds there. It's a good upgrade to Mishra's Burnished Banner, and in fresh builds around Mishra Eminent One, for example. And the last card today is City of Traders. It goes up $22.10 to $307.99. This gets a lot of Legacy play in a number of decks, including the popular mono-white initiative builds. It's also in a variety of commander decks, including at times the new one, Slicer Hired Muscle again. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Check out the channel for a series of shorts where we look at more cards. We're going to do one for premium cards this week. I have a few cards I wanted to point out to you. And also, we have some shorts for cards moving down in value in different categories. Until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.